This is Mancave Live with your host, Lexington Steele, and co-host, Andre Lavelle, and Johnny Depp on LA Talk Radio. Let's get it in.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your main man, Lexington Steele. I am with Evan Lionel in the house.
The one and only HBO, BT, Stars. I always do all my credits. TV One, 2-hour specials. What's up, y'all? From HCCB Comedy, the Hardcore Comedy Blast. What you know about that, Lex?
I know about it every Tuesday night at the Ha Ha Comedy Cafe here in North Hollywood.
North Hollywood. No Ho, as
no
they
ho.
call it.
See what I'm saying? In the no ho. That's not meaning no hoes allowed because, you know what I'm saying, we all are a ho at some point to some degree, with or without said degree. Now, but
Like
it is
it or
at, what is it, 4712?
I think it's 4710. 4710 Lancashire Boulevard, North Hollywood. And the show was off the chain. We had all sorts of guests there. We had Kim Whitley stop by to visit, actress Kim Whitley from Raising Whitley, the hit television show, and then Alfonso from the movie Fat Albert, and has a television show on as well, and several other movies. And many adult film stars.
As a matter of fact, former co-host of the Lexington Steele Live Show. Of course, that's Monday night on LA Talk Radio, 8 to 9 p.m. on the Pacific Time. Former co-host Gianna Michaels showed up.
Oh my God!
She blessed the show.
Gorgeous.
Brought a friend of hers with her as well, Alex Chance.
Yes.
And we had Savannah Stiles in there. We had celebrity makeup artist Rosalinda Macias was in there. She brought a good-looking friend of hers. We had
gorgeous
Layla Price.
There. Layla Price
brought a friend of hers with
in
her.
The building.
Even a couple brothers came through. Mr. Marcus, Isaiah Maxwell,
Isaiah.
Let's see, Brandy Banks, a new girl. And then there was one or two others. So we had a good contingent of XXX people in there last night.
Yes,
night
laughing and enjoying themselves. The comedians were at Wanda White, a Def Comedy Jam All-Star, BT Comic View All-Star. We had Franz Cassius out of Brooklyn. Straight from Brooklyn, BET All-Star, Def Comedy Jam, HBO All-Star. We had hit the stage, super funny Roger Rod. Roger Rod is actually, he had a show on Showtime called White Boys in the Hood. Have you ever heard of that?
No,
that show
I
is
have to
crazy.
check that out. He was good, though. He was very good.
White Boys. And then we had Corey Fernandez from Brooklyn, I think Puerto Rican. He talked
first
about
guy
being
those up.
And then we had Fig. He's also from
last
Brooklyn.
two. Who was the last guy?
And Billy Surreal.
Yeah, he was great.
He's actually on the Shack tour right now.
Oh, yeah?
He's on the Shack comedy tour right now as we speak.
Yeah,
it was a great show. We got it coming up this Tuesday with a whole new lineup, folks. You don't want to miss it. Don't want to miss it, folks. Ha Ha Cafe. It's a brand new comedy club in North Hollywood. 4710, 8:30 on Tuesday, September 8th. It's jumping off.
And then also people can check us out on Facebook to find out, the names of our next lineup. Coming up. And then also we will have clips available shortly for what took place on Tuesday. Coming up on a Tuesday. So look, you know what I'm saying? Next week we do have a few things happening. But in the news this week, a number of things have come up. But first and foremost, it is indeed September 3rd. I don't know what you're doing coming up Labor Day, people, but Labor Day is upon us. So make sure that as you get into this Labor Day weekend, you are not drinking and driving so much as drinking, if you will, and then passing the keys off to someone who's taking responsibility to not drink. So make sure you be safe out there. there are other people that you are sharing the roads with, and bear them in mind as they look to enjoy their weekends as well.
Yeah, speaking of that, Lex, I got a brother with 4 DUIs.
So I'm saying he's probably not going to be driving.
He has to have one of those things that I don't even know how it works, but when you get in your car, it won't start unless he blows into this particular
like a breathalyzer to even turn the ignition on.
Right. They said that if he is caught driving beyond that, he will get locked up literally, because what they said is when you have that many DUIs, you're actually dangerous, and you can be charged with attempted murder if you have an accident.
So then it's not even no longer manslaughter. They're trumping it up to like it's a crime.
Attempted murder, a criminal.
Wow.
He actually did 2 years.
What on
and got out on parole, and they said if you are behind the wheel drunk, you're going to be charged with attempted murder, and literally have to end up doing possibly life for drinking. How strong is alcohol that you can't control yourself for a moment enough? Once you get one DUI, I think that should tell you
just to back up. But it's hard because sometimes it's hard sometimes to know, whether people know their limits, but sometimes you go over your limit, or you think you're not at your limit and you actually are. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not that much of a drinker because I am a lightweight, and with my drink, but I'm a smoker. I smoke cannabis, and I find that it doesn't jeopardize my motor skills. But with alcohol,
it does mine.
Okay,
hold on. See, the cannabis, that bomb ass weed for y'all that don't know.
Oh no, they're very familiar on this show. People, 818-570-5085 to speak to Ivan Lionel and myself. It's
Evan. He has obviously smoked cannabis already because he knows me well.
No, but I know people named Ivan because I know people from the Eastern Bloc.
And Ivan is cool. That's a cool name too. But the whole smoking weed thing, I honestly can drink and be still good with my motor skills.
Yeah.
But if I smoke weed, my God, I'm feeling like I'm paranoid for one.
Yeah.
And California, y'all have a different kind of weed. It ain't like the weed. I'm from Chicago.
Okay.
Californians put something else. The weed is stronger.
Yeah, but it's it's so scientific out here.
Really?
Oh, I mean, think about it. I mean, I'm not a grower myself, but I mean, it's so commercialized. I mean, look, you got 7-Elevens, and you got dry cleaners, and you got liquor stores, and you got weed shops. Okay, in terms of quantity, right?
Yeah.
Think about how many weed shops in the valley alone.
And have they made it legal yet?
Yes, in California, yes.
So it's actually legal to go into the weed.
It's legal to purchase it, but you have to have a doctor certified ID card to buy it. And you have to have a prescription. Well, you go see a doctor, and if he is one of the doctors that do prescribe medication cards for medicinal use of cannabinoids, then it's like $100 and maybe $75. $75, $100.
Really?
Yeah, and you let him know what ails you, and he'll say, okay, I can see where medical use of cannabis will have a positive effect on that particular problem, whether it's insomnia, lack of appetite, a number of things.
Insomnia, lack of appetite.
For myself personally, that was what I actually.
Okay. Is it for pain too?
Yes, any type of pain.
Well, I used it for pain, and it actually magnified my pain. I said, let me smoke some weed, and then because my back is hurting.
Yeah.
And I smoked it, Lex, and my pain was like 10 times that.
Well, I don't know, but I'll tell you, it's interesting. You can find they have creams that have
really?
Yeah, that have the active ingredients of the cannabinoid inside of it, and the edibles, if you will, those things are very powerful. But they also make creams where you can actually get the medicinal use of cannabis, soaking through your skin.
Wow.
Now that could, of course, maybe have a numbing effect, certainly a therapeutic effect on what might be. Me personally, no, not for that purpose.
Okay.
Now I know people that have migraines that have alleviated their migraine problems with cannabis and had not smoked before. People that have experienced seizures have been known to begin therapeutic use of cannabis, and their seizures have ceased.
Really?
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I'll tell you what cannabis is good for me. It is good. It arouses me.
Yeah.
Sexually, I'm aroused.
Yeah.
So I have never sat around with a group of dudes and smoked weed. Whenever I smoke weed, it's with my lady, and I'm relaxed at home, chilling, because it arouses me sexually. And I guess it has different effects on different people. That's what it does to me. It might not do that to you.
No. Depending on there's sativas and indicas. Now the indicas, like I said, depends on who you are and what your system, how to affect your system. I mean, some weeds that I smoke do have an effect on me. Like, oh shit, you feel like you're in the mood.
Yeah.
You know, and there's reasons to that. You know, there are physiological, medical reasons for that. So if ever I buy one of those strains, I'm like, I better make sure I can buy that one again. So we do have a call come in. I think it is co-host Andre Lavelle who is dialing into the Mancave show here at 818-570-5085. Hello. This is a Mancave Live. Talk to us.
How you doing? This is LJ Reynolds with the Dramatics.
Oh, with the Dramatics. What's up? What's up, LJ? What's the deal, man?
Everything is great, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Ladies and gentlemen, This is the one and only LJ with the Dramatics. I'm actually hosting a concert with those guys. I told you about it, Lex, out in Ontario, California, on September 12th.
Stylistics are there as well.
Stylistics. Who else, LJ?
I think
Evelyn Champagne King.
Yes,
Evelyn Champagne King.
Right.
And a few other acts that I can't remember.
Man, thanks for calling in, man, from the Dramatics. Tell us what's going on, man. Where you at? Where are you?
We still out here. You know, we work with some of the biggest rappers out there, Snoop Dogg, which we're going to be doing Doggy Dogg World on the show. People always ask, you guys going to be doing that record Doggy Dogg World you did with Snoop? I said, listen, we're going to go all the way to the front. But what you see is what you get. Go outside the rain, get off my mountain, be my girl, can't get over you, stars in your eyes, stop your weeping, door to your heart, me and Mrs. Jones, you're fooling you, and more and more and more. We're going to throw down.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, those are all the hits. What you know about those? That's what I'm talking about. Are you in Detroit?
So we had 38 top 10 singles.
Ah, nice.
38 top 10
I mean,
singles.
I know that, you know, I could practically sing Mrs. Jones. You know.
Yeah, right.
Let's hear. Let's see what Lex got. Lex,
Shoot.
let me hear.
Mrs. Jones. We got a thing going on.
I don't think you're gonna be putting them in the group too soon, LJ. I don't think
but it's much too strong to let it go now. What, you know what I'm saying? I got little chops. I don't pull them out every now and again.
How many gold and platinum records have you guys added to your collection, if you don't mind me asking?
We have sold millions and millions of records. I mean, it all started with vinyl, and then it went from vinyl to cassette, went from cassette to CD, from CD down to digital.
Right.
So we didn't quit counting the gold records. I mean, I got them hanging up in the house. But we have sold millions and millions of records, and still looking for the money.
Oh yeah, well that doesn't stop. That can't stop. But the thing that's interesting is
now in this digital age.
Yeah.
So you know, all of our records have went double platinum, triple platinum, all of our albums. But the records have changed over to so many different variations until it's kind of hard to keep up with how many you sold. So we kind of say what McDonald's say, millions sold.
Well, now question. Now, with the commercialization of your music, have you found that? I mean, is it fun seeing your music? You know, when you license your music out, is it fun to see your music in a commercial for products? Now, you know, whether it's a tune that you've penned your very self, and you're seeing it. You know, is that something fun, or is that just business as usual?
Well, you know, it's something that you appreciate that, and you feel like you have done something, in the musical world and in the industry. So I don't know if you call it fun anymore. It used to be fun back when I was a much younger man in my 20s and 30s. Now it's kind of like, wow, okay. So now maybe we can get something out of this because we put in so much. And like so many entertainers, they don't usually get it what they should get. Yeah. But one thing that we did get is we got a lot of great fans, and we got what they call opportunity. And the whole great thing about it is that we're still able to be out here, and people still show up at our concerts by the thousands.
Absolutely. Here's a question from me, and it's about, first of all, big shout out to Sound Exchange, and I know you're familiar with Sound Exchange, right?
That's right. Yeah, I get checks from Sound Exchange.
That's right. And as a comedian, so do I. So I'm shouting out Sound Exchange all the way. I get checks because they play me all the time on satellite radio. And right. My first thing is, in hearing your music on all these different networks and everything, did it mean a lot to you when that lawsuit went in favor of the Gaye family, the Marvin Gaye family, about Pharrell and Robin Thicke, you taking Marvin Gaye's song and turning it into a new song and not paying them? How does that work, and how do you feel about that? Was that a victory in behalf of all you guys who were pioneers and actually wrote the music? Because youngsters are not writing the music today. They're just taking from you guys.
I think that it was a victory in the sense that now people are going to be a little bit more careful about copycat, using people's lyrics or their melodies or even their beats. I think it was a plus for everybody that have recorded records from years going by. And I think that, too, a lot of the acts now, they're going to be a little bit more cautious on what they're doing and how they approach this stuff. So I think it was a victory for everybody.
Well, also, I think you see the progress for the protection of artists and their media. Even if you look at today with Kanye West, a number of his some of the music he's put out the last couple of years are now in, soundtracking some of the major commercials, and television shows that we see. So I think there is it's appreciative to see how well the protections of the artist is becoming. Even with, now I understand that Jay-Z had a problem with what the music outreach program that he had.
Did he?
Right.
Well, even Prince had a situation that I don't know if it had anything to do with his publishing or anything like that, because I don't know his business. But I can't think of an act, and even us, the Dramatics, that we didn't feel like we've been taken somewhere pertaining to, because I write and produce a lot of dramatic records. Stop Your Weeping, and a lot of those songs I wrote and produced myself. And then you listen at this stuff that's everywhere, and you wonder, where's the rest of the money? So, I think it's in our days, in this age of the internet, it even made it even worse, but it also made it better. So, it's kind of like, it's so good, but it makes you feel so bad.
All right. Well, look, I want to thank you for calling in. I have another call coming in, so we're going to let you go, but thank you so much.
We'll see you on the 12th, LJ and the Dramatics and Evelyn Champagne King and the Stylistics. We are going to have a ball, folks. Look out for tickets. You can get tickets. You can also contact me, Evan Lionel. We will have a ball in Ontario, September 12th. Thanks for calling in, LJ.
Citizens Business Bank in Ontario. Citizens Business Bank Arena.
Citizens Business Bank Arena.
Check us out.
That's Ontario, California.
Thank you guys for having me on your show. Go get them.
That's Ontario, California.
Ontario, California.
There it is there. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, LJ.
It's interesting. We've seen a lot of things happening in music, whether it's confrontations between artists and what have you. We see the announcement of Kanye West, saying that he plans to run for office.
What do you think about that, Lex? That kind of scares me, man.
Look, let me tell you something. I mean, look, I think we have the notion of celebrity candidate is we're seeing it played out in real life, in real time with Donald Trump. He is a celebrity and he is a candidate. So who knows? Can a Kanye West get traction? I think not. Would he be able to gain a Republican, a Democratic nomination? Perhaps not. Independent, perhaps as independent.
Yes, he can as
Problem being is the amount of money it would need. It takes to run an operation, to run, an electoral challenge like that. I don't know if he'd be able to personally raise the funds.
Well,
necessary.
He has a lot of funds.
No, personally, but
records.
Are we talking? Yeah, but we're getting into the 400s, 400 million, 300 million, 400 million to put towards a campaign.
Yeah.
Can he raise that? Now, Kanye West, quite matter of fact, has a broad demographic of voters. If Kanye, look, even at my age, I would vote. I wouldn't personally vote for Kanye, but maybe someone else who's a little bit younger, he might be able to get the audience from 18 to 35.
I
100% of them.
I agree with that. What is his platform?
What would his platform be? I don't know.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you something.
At his age.
Nah.
And he's my homeboy. He's from my area. He's from Chicago. I got love for him as an artist, but to run the #1 superpower? What is this really about? What's really going on?
Well, I don't think that I don't really think that Kanye is taking it as anything that he wants us to receive as serious or with seriousness. I think that
you don't think he's serious?
Nah. I think that Kanye West has qualified himself as a very serious artist, and part of this being a serious artist is serious promotion, and he's a fantastic promoter of his artwork, of his art. But I mean, certain things you got to take with a grain of salt. That you take with a pound of it.
2 pounds of it. But I honestly, knowing Kanye, knowing who he is, I honestly think he's serious.
No.
I think he'll literally, if he gets the money behind him for his campaign, I guarantee you, knowing Kanye and knowing the type of guy he is, he'll run for president for real and do just what Jesse Jackson did. You remember what Jesse Jackson did? He almost got the Democratic nomination in the primary. Jesse almost did that, and nobody thought he would get that far.
Who went on to win the Democratic nomination that year? Wasn't
that year?
Because Jesse would have been around.
It was
like
in
after
'88.
Jimmy Carter.
It was in '88.
Ronald Reagan.
I think it
was. That was the Reagan era.
I think it was in '88.
Well, I tell you something. What we're seeing right now with the parading of Donald Trump in front of the Republican candidacy race is something that we're going to have to deal with for another year, because people forget how far away the election actually is, or the primaries to gain the nomination is more than a year away. But have you noticed the ascension of Dr. Ben Carson?
I have.
A black Republican, no less.
Actually, I like Dr. Ben Carson. He's educated.
Right.
He is a successful man, and he's a doctor. And to me, doctors, they care about lives. They care about saving lives.
Yeah.
His platform, I've listened to it. I'm like, and I'm not a Republican.
No, neither am I.
I've been a Democrat, so
right.
I'm pretty shocked at him and actually happy he's there. But what I do know, Lex, is the Republican Party controls, they have a lot of say-so in what he does. Mm-hmm. And I don't want the Republicans having control over the House like that anymore after what George Bush did. George Bush, everybody's forgetting, when President Obama came into office, we were going into another Great Depression.
Right.
How come we forgot that so quick?
Right.
Banks were closing. We had to do all sorts of
major
bailouts.
banking institutions needing to make it. Now imagine banking
stimulus
institutions,
packages.
Right. Mm-hmm.
People are forgetting that President Obama came into office and this country was really, really on its way. A major catastrophe was about to happen. Remember, the stock market totally fell and everything was falling apart, and people don't even want to recognize that President Obama kept us alive and brought us back from that mess that George Bush created.
Well, we're trying to also avoid, if we can, the arrival of another Bush into the office, or at least gain the Republican.
God.
Now, I think the Republicans, there's quite a number of people that offer a good challenge for that particular, to represent the Republican, side of the campaign. But I think that ultimately, you got to look at who in today's world, who can continue a return of economic stability. Number one, and number two, the increased importance, and people, please feel free to join in to this, the increased importance of international diplomacy, whereas we are in a global economy,
right?
And and now, of course, with intercontinental ballistic weaponry, everyone having access to rockets that will be at your doorstep. You can't afford to be a Donald Trump, perhaps, and insult those who may push a button, because now everybody's got a button.
Absolutely.
That's one of our. And
that's my concern about Donald Trump.
Right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I get the Donald, he's flamboyant, he's confident.
And I like Donald Trump, but that's scary as the president. He'll take somebody's number right now
and put it on blast.
Put it on blast.
So what if he does that to the dude from to Kim over in Korea?
Right.
Or Putin in Russia or something like that? It might be an issue. And this is real talk.
No, this is real talk.
This is real talk.
He shows that if he really gets the power, if he's doing the stuff he's doing now without the power, imagine if he gets the power, what he will do, not just to outsiders, but insiders that he don't like.
Now, let me ask you this, and this is one of the things that's become a huge issue amongst the African Americans and the authorities, the police, if you will, gun control. Do you feel that gun control is something that is out of control, or do you feel that more people should have access to guns to protect themselves against those who should not have guns?
I think that gun control is not out of control or nothing. I don't think it's out of order. I think that we should have a right to bear arms, just like the Constitution
say
gives
in Florida
us.
Or Texas, right to bear arms, stand your ground.
Right, it's not the civilized citizens that need gun control. It's those who are criminals.
Right.
If you have a criminal background and you are a career criminal, then someone needs to regulate you having a gun because you're using it to commit crimes. But if you have a gun as a legal citizen to protect your household, I have kids. I have family. I do not want to be caught out there naked without a gun, and the bad guys got a gun. And gun control literally regulates all of the citizens.
So those law-abiding people are handicapped by their restrictions against themselves when there's access to those who run aside or askew of the law. Now, even, I believe it was yesterday, NBA superstar Dwight Howard of the Houston Rockets was going on a commercial flight, and he had, he's from Texas, he works out of Texas.
Right.
He had a handgun, licensed handgun in his carry-on bag. And they stopped him. They saw the gun in there, and he was like, "Look, I have the license for the carry of the weapon. I am in Texas, leaving Texas. I carry a handgun to protect myself. I am a celebrity." So they gave the gun over to an associate of his who may have been I think an off-duty officer of some sort, and they let him continue on. So the question all this morning on Sports Talk Radio had been, should Dwight Howard have been detained and or arrested for that? And I'm thinking to myself, why? This is a case where a guy legally had the right to carry his arms to defend himself if need be, and he was, of course, they're talking about on the radio that he should have been arrested. Now, in my opinion, knowing celebrities as you are, do you find that celebrities do deserve certain considerations because, hey, look, people recognize them and they can be a target?
It is a benefit actually being a celebrity. I have shown up. What happens is we get caught off guard. We carrying guns and we carrying weapons to protect ourselves from crazy fans or just crazy people in general. I have gone to the airport and forgot I had bullets and all of that and they recognize me as a comedian. I love your comedy, believe it or not, and they have given me a pass on that. They don't let me on the flight. They confiscate all of the stuff, but I didn't go to jail, which would have cost me a lot of money because I'm flying to do shows or concerts. Whereas if it's an average citizen, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be detained for hours. But the question is, what is the law?
Yeah.
If the law says thus and so, the law must be followed. The problem is those who enforce the law, they're being selective with who they follow it with.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, when there's a breakdown in the system, it is someone within the system abusing their power.
There we have it. There we have it. I mean, if you or I, or, you know, I mean, we may not, maybe we've got arrested. Coming out of LAX, I don't know whether it's been issued. Now, coming out of Texas, like I said, maybe, you know, they have the right to carry
guns as long as they are out in the open. You can't carry a concealed weapon in Texas. It has to be seen. You have to have it in a holster. Is it like that here?
I don't believe so. Because can you imagine, not for nothing, but can you imagine here in California if there was a right to carry, a right to open carry? I mean,
we need to know the laws on that.
Yeah,
I think. Remember the Black Panthers stormed Capitol Hill with guns and stuff.
Yeah,
they knew the law. That's why they were able to do that.
Yeah.
What are the actual laws here when it comes to handguns? Let's be for real. Let's figure that out. Can we carry the gun? Have the gun in our trunk? That's what I've been told. As long as it's in your trunk and it's not loaded. Is that the law? You know, what's the law?
Well, now this is, you know, obviously take this with a grain of salt as well, but in watching Ray Donovan on Showtime, which is based in Los Angeles, when he gets his piece, he goes to his trunk.
Really?
Yeah, he goes to his trunk and then he loads it. So maybe in California,
that's respect for the law in California.
Whereas if you look in states like Florida, Arizona, and Texas, you can, like you said, you walk around
in a holster, on your long as it's in plain view. Okay,
now let me ask you this: there are states where people are literally walking into Walmarts with AK-47s and M16s and P-15s strapped on their shoulder.
I bet they ain't black walking in like that. How much you want to bet?
Because the last time a black person walked into a Walmart with a gun, albeit a toy gun, he was shot upon by 2 officers and was gunned down. That happened within the year 2015. Let's not forget. But
what state was that in?
Quite honestly, I can't recall. There's been so many incidents where officers open up on black citizens. And that was the case where the guy, I think, was talking on his cell phone to his girlfriend, and he actually was buying a toy gun. There was a toy gun he was going to buy that was out of the box, and he was carrying it to the register, and it even had the orange. It even had the orange tip on it. And so some person in the Walmart called 911, and 911 stormed the Walmart. And when they ran into the Walmart, saw on the camera, they run in and they run up the aisle, and the kid is talking to his girlfriend on the phone and says, "I think they think I have a real gun." And then you hear him, drop the gun. And you hear the kid say, "But it's not." And then bang, bang, bang.
And did the kid die?
Yeah, they gunned him down. So, and people, we say these things to say this. None of these things are right, not before the eyes of the law, not before the eyes of God Almighty. And I want to, certainly enough, as an adjunct to having said that, I would be remiss if we did not make note of the tragic loss of life to the police officers that we've been experiencing over the last few weeks. It does seem like there has been
the last decade.
No. But I'm saying most acutely over the last 2 to 3 weeks, we've seen a number of officers gunned down in their line of duty. And that, of course, is not the answer. Now, I know that what we have seen portrayed towards and, of course, executed upon African Americans, certainly enough, is in no way the answer. But, of course, I will not line up or align myself with condone the taking of an officer's life. Do you know any police officers personally?
I know several of them, and I have one that is high ranking in my family in Chicago. I know several of them personally, and they are good guys.
Right.
But I also know a lot of bad guys who are wearing that uniform and who are a disgrace to that uniform because they do so many bad things and they bring down the fraternal order of police at large.
So is the problem, not to cut you off, but is the problem the blue shield? Is the problem the protections that they afford each other? Is that the issue?
Honestly, it's having the wrong people with that much power.
Okay.
It's kind of like you driving in your car and a cop is driving in front of you and he slows down. I've seen cops really tie traffic up because they're abusing their power, knowing that people are going to slow down. So you
or noticeably seeking to engage you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And follow you. I just pull over when they follow me. I'm not getting ready to go through driving for miles, having to go to the bathroom because they follow me around. Now I got to take a dump because I'm scared. I just pull over. Why you guys following me? That's abuse of power. I think OPS needs to step their game up in regulating officers and making sure that they're not abusing their power and that they are following the rules.
I'm sorry, not OPS would be, for those that are unfamiliar like myself.
Office of Professional Standing for police officers. What needs to happen is they need to start regulating these cops and actually giving them punishment for the wrong they do and not doing an internal investigation, and after they keep the case for 6 months then saying I find nothing wrong, which I've had happen to me personally. I literally showed them how wrong their officers were in my situation, and they literally investigated themselves and then sent me a letter like 6 to 8 months down the line. We found nothing wrong. And then when I went back to the station and I showed the commanding officer, the watch commander, what had gone wrong, he said, there's no way any of my officers did that. Then I showed him the letter from the investigation. He was like, well, I don't know how this happened. I said, you just said it was wrong and there's no way your officers could have done this. And he said, well, we'll have to, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
That's abuse of power, and I think the police bring down the level of respect towards them. That's why more and more of them people are losing respect for their uniform, for their badge, and they're starting to treat them like regular criminals out here. And if they don't get order over the entire the fraternity of police, if they don't start regulating the wrong that they do to us as a society, it can only get worse from there.
Well, let's hope that we do not descend to a state of anarchy. Certainly enough, we do not want the public streets to become, Clockwork Orange, if you will.
Yeah.
We don't want that to happen.
It could happen because we got so many corrupt judges, so many corrupt attorneys, and believe it or not, attorneys are officers of the court.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that they are officers of the court, and they are so many that are corrupt.
Well, the
days.
dollar's a powerful thing, and people think that white collar criminals are any less criminal than anyone else. And believe you me, there's many a criminal, a hardened criminal even so, that wears a white collar.
Under the cloak of a judge or... There's a movie called Divorce Corp. I think I
You
told you about
it.
That documentary literally puts it out there and shows how family court is destroying lives all over this country and robbing people of all of their assets. Every day. And what they do is they count on you getting married. They're happy with that. It costs probably $100 to get married, just get your license and get married. But to get divorced, it is thousands of dollars. Some couples, it's been publicized that some couples are spending in divorce court $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $1 million just to get divorced. And what they're doing is engaging both sides in a fight. And they literally force you to get a lawyer and participate.
Well, we'll make sure that we keep people abreast of the situations that they can avoid by letting people know what type of things they can view to find out ways to avoid potential caveats to their happiness and well-being. We are going to be out of here right now, people, on the Mancave Live. Thanks for joining us. You can see myself and Evan at the Hardcore Comedy Blast every Tuesday night. Doors opening at 8 p.m. Show starts at 8:30 at the Ha Ha Cafe.
Ha Ha Cafe Comedy Club, right in North Hollywood, or No Ho, if
No
you will.
hoes.
But hoes are allowed. Trust it.
The
believe that.
VIP. All right. Well, look, and then Evan.
Also, the 12th at Citizens Bank Arena in Ontario, I will be there with the Dramatics, the Stylistics, Evelyn Champagne King. And eventually, we're going to do the Hardcore Comedy Blast Tour.
All right, we will. We'll get to that. And, of course, we'll continue on seeing you here next Thursday night, live at 8 p.m. Evan Lionel, Lex Steele, Man Cave. Peace.
Straight talk from our perspective. This is Man Cave Live with your host, Lexington Steele, and co-host, Andre Lavelle and Johnny Depp on LA Talk Radio. Let's get it in.